Welcome to another Business Studies revision class. Today we are going to be looking at the practical aspect of business studies, which you are expected to know how to effectively use your keyboard for typing, which we call keyboarding. And the essence of this practical class is to know how far you can effectively use your computer keys on the keyboard. Now, for this practical class or practical examination, there are two tasks ahead of you. The first task is all about speed and accuracy, which is the first one we are going to do. It's a task given to you to test your speed and accuracy, and you are expected to, you are given like 126 words, like what we have here, and you're expected to type this in just 5 minutes. That means you should be able to type like 24 to 26 words in a minute. So looking at this, I'm going to be teaching you how to approach this, because whatever you have here is not just for you to pick up your computer and start typing. There are some instructions given to you that you are expected to follow. And when these instructions are not followed, you might end up having a 0, even when you have correctly typed your text. So the first thing we are going to be looking at is how to abide by the instructions given to you. Every task given to you, like I said, is the first task, and this task is all about speed and accuracy. How fast and accurate can you be in your typing skill? So there are 4 instructions given here, of which I'm going to be showing you how they should be adhered to. The first one says, type this passage with 14 font size, which means that the font size you're expected to use to type this, that's using your Microsoft Office, your Microsoft Word Office, you are expected to use the 14 font size. I'm going to show you how to do that. Then indent your paragraph at 5 character spacing. If you look at the text given to us here, this is a typical example of the blocked paragraph style. The blocked paragraph style. So you're expected to change it to indented paragraph style. Then you set your margin. Then lastly, you type in double line spacing. Now let me add this to what you're expected to know. The background or the foundation of this task given to you is not actually centered on how to use the computer. It's to know how well to use your typewriter. But as we all know, the era of typewriter has faded. It is faded out. So now we are using the computer system instead of a typewriter. So when you are given this task to do, the first thing you need to do is to open your Microsoft Word. Open your Microsoft Word Office. Then you set your instructions. There are 4 instructions given to you here. Before you start typing, that's the first thing you need to do. The first instruction here says type this passage with 14 font size. So where do we set our font size? You click on the home tab. You click on it. Then you see where you have your font. You click on font. Then there are different options given to you here. You see where you have a number. You have a number here. You are seeing number 11. So the instruction given to you is to use 14 font size. So what do? You click on this drop down. It gives you a drop down of numbers. Then you click on the one you are asked to use, which is 14. So with this, you have set your font size to 14. Then you don't just use anyhow font style. We have font size, we have font style. So in some questions, they tell you the font style to use. But if you are not told the font size to use, you are expected to use either Calibri, use your Calibri, or you use your Times New Roman. Anything outside these two is inappropriate. You use either the Calibri style or the Times New Roman. So let's just use the Calibri style as we have here. So we have set as a 14th font size. Then you have to indent your paragraph at 5 character spacing. I'm going to show you how to do that. Actually, for this type of instruction, it's best used when you're using the typewriter. But I'm also going to show you how you can use your computer to achieve this. The third instruction says you set your margin at 15 and 70. Set your margin at 15 and 70. Now, this is not achievable with the computer system. There is no computer system that allows you to set 15 and 70. This is only achievable using the typewriter. So the best way to just do this is to set appropriate margin. Set appropriate margin. So how do you set your appropriate margin? You click on page layout. When you click on page layout, you see the different toolbars given to you. Then you click on margin. When you click on margin, you see different margins that have been set before. You have your normal, which you can use. That is your left, right, top, and bottom is 1 inch. You can use it. But if you want to set margin for yourself, there's another margin that's also appropriate. If you want to set it for yourself, you click on custom margin. So it brings out a box where you can set your margin. Okay, so you can see it has brought up the space where you can set. This space is also a space where you can, it's called the page setup space. That's a space where you can set your margin, set your orientation, and all of that. So you can decide to use 1 inch, as you can see. Then you can also decide to use 1 inch for top, 1 inch for bottom. Then for left and right, you can use 1.25. 1.25. So you can set it to 1.2 or 1.25 is also an appropriate margin. 1.2, 1.25. Your left and right margin should be the same, 1.25. This is also another appropriate margin that you can set. And like I said, you can also decide to use one top, 1 for bottom, 1 inch, left and right, 1. So once you are done with this, you click OK. It has set appropriate margin for you. Then the next instruction says type in double line spacing. Type in double line spacing. How do you achieve this? You go back to your home. Go back to your home. You go back to your home. Then look at here where you have 2 arrows. Look at my cursor. This is where you set your double line spacing, where you have 2 arrows pointing at each other. So you click on this. You click on the drop down. It gives you a drop. It gives you the list of numbers. You have 1, you have 1.15, you have 1.5, you have 2, you have 2.5, you have 3. So to set your double line spacing, you click on 2. Once you click on 2, it gives you double line spacing. Whatever you are going to type is going to be double line spacing. This is one of the major instructions that if you don't adhere to it, your work might even be cancelled. So take note of that. Look at where I set the double line spacing, where you have 2 arrows. One is pointing upward while one is downward. So once you click on it, you click on 2. That shows that you have clicked, you have set your double line spacing. So with this, you can now start your typing. You've set your double line spacing, you've set your page font size, and the appropriate margin. So now let's start our typing work. Remember, speed and accuracy is important. It says, the game of football around the entire world has been taken as, that should be as a good sport. You can see it has shown our double line spacing. Now, let me show you how to indent your paragraph at 5-character spacing. You're supposed to have a paragraph here at the beginning of your D. So all you need to do is you can use your space bar and press your space bar 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see the space for the paragraph. This has taken us now, has changed it from the block style to the indented style. So you can continue your typing work. It is regarded as the king of all sports. Full stop. The game is also called, sorry, there's a mistake, is also called soccer. It's also called soccer. So that's the end of the first paragraph. So to move to the next paragraph, you use your enter key. Then remember your 5-character space to show your indented paragraph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is played by 2 teams of 11 players. Each for a period of 1 hour, 1 hour 30 minutes. The game of soccer has helped some of our citizens in this great country in the past and today, full stop. Then you have the next paragraph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. it has created jobs. It has created jobs for our youth. Which have saved them from many vices. As the adage goes, comma, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So we move to the next paragraph. That's the last paragraph. Indent your 5 character spacing again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To stress it more, comma, that is not the only area the game of football has rescued the world. The game has made young men and women wealthy and proud, full stop. So this is how your work is expected to be after typing. You can see it has changed from the indented, from the block paragraph to the indented paragraph, and you can clearly see the double line spacing showing in between each line. So if your work is not like this, then you are wrong. Omission of words will be penalized. Then also, for you to be able to familiarize yourself with your keyboard, you need to practice more on your speed. The faster you can be, the better for you. So this is how to answer or how to type out the first task given to you in your practical examination. Now let's go to the second task. Now let's go to the second task, which is task 2. The task 2, which is usually called printers correction, which is usually called manuscript, sorry. This task 2 is called manuscript. Like I said, the first one is titled speed and accuracy. So this task 2 is titled manuscript. And what's the essence of this manuscript? Looking at what you have on the board, you can see that it is a handwritten, work. It is a handwritten document. So, and that is what manuscript means. So, as a type or as a secretary who is using his or her hand to write a document, before the document can be mailable for maybe sending or printing, it has to be proofread by either the person either by an editor or the person who gave you the task to do. Now, while this manuscript is being proofread, corrections are made. And for these corrections to be effected, we use what is called the printer's correction signs. The printer's correction signs. So whatever you have here is just an exercise to check or to see how far you are able to comprehend or know the meaning of any correction sign you see, and also how to effect it. So like the first task, the first thing you need to do is to abide by the instructions given to you. Abide by the instruction given to you. The instruction is the main thing being asked. If instruction is not adhered to, your work might be cancelled. So let's save this one. This is task 1. We're done with task 1. So let's open a new page for task 2. The two tasks are not expected to be done on the same page. So the first thing that you are expected to do is to abide by the instructions given. Like I said, abide by the instructions given to you. So the first instruction, like the other one, says type this passage with 14 font size. So where do we set our font size again? You click on File, then you look at where you have your font. When you click on it, you will see different options. You see where you have numbers written. So once you click on the drop down arrow, it drops down different numbers. So you click on the appropriate one given to you. You are expected to use the 14 font size. Then also remember, use appropriate font style. Don't just use any font style to design your work. You either use Times New Roman or you use Calibri. So that is it for the first one. The second one says indent the paragraph at 5-character spacing. We are going to do that. Set margin at 15 and 70. I already told you that this is not obtainable using the computer system. So all you need to do is just to set appropriate margin. So you click on page layout, then you click on margin. You click on margin. So you can decide to use the normal margin, which is using 1 inch for the 4 sides of the margin. That's your left, your right, your top, and the bottom. Then you can also decide to use, customize your own margin. So for this, let's use the normal 1 inch margin. So once you click on it, your margin has been set. Then type in double line spacing, just like the first task given to you. You have to type in double line spacing. So how do you do that? You click on home. If you look at here, you have a paragraph. There are different tools under this. You click on the one that has 2 arrows. One is facing up, one is facing down. So once you click on it, you click on 2. 2 is what shows that you want to type on double line spacing. So once you click on 2, you have set your double line spacing. So let's look at other instructions given. To us. It says omission of words will be penalized. Omission of words will be penalized. Then render all abbreviations in full. For this manuscript, abbreviations can be given. So when you see these abbreviations, you don't type them as abbreviations. You are expected to write the full meaning of these abbreviations. The abbreviations might be letters, it might be signs. You are expected to type them in full. So you need to pay attention to how these corrections are expected to be made, because whatever they are looking out for here is how are you able to effect your corrections. Now look at the first sentence, which is like the heading of the text. It says people's view on work. People's view on work. You can see it circled, which means there is a correction to be effected there. There's a correction to be effected there. And the correction is center in caps, which means this heading is meant to be centralized. That means it should be at the center of the text. Then also it should be in capital letter. So how do you do this? If you type, you can use your caps lock. You press your caps lock down. There you type people's view on work. People's view on work. So what do you do now to centralize it? You highlight. Then go to your menu, your menu bar, where you have different options to click on. Under this paragraph, there are different lines. We call them ways your text, they show how your text should be aligned. If you put your cursor on this, you see what is written there. It says align left. Whatever you are seeing on the board is left alignment, but that is not what we want. Take it to the next one. You can see what is there. It shows what? Center. So if you click on this now, automatically it brings your work to the center. So it has helped you to centralize your heading. So that's the first correction you are expected to adhere to. Center your heading. So you can see it. People's view on work has been centralized and put in caps. Now we continue. You press your enter key, then you go back to your left alignment. So let's continue with our work. The main text now says, in the past. You can start your typing. You have to remove it from caps. Remember, the heading was typed in caps. So you continue in your lowercase. In the past, comma, please take note of all punctuation marks too, very important. So having properly set your heading, taking note of the corrections to be effected, then we start the main text. So you start typing, in the past. Societies, if you look at the next word to type here, there's a little confusion. You have locate and place. And the two words have been struck out. You have locate, you have place. But if you look at these two words, you will see one that is still dotted under. Locate has been struck out, place has been taken out. So which one now are we going to type? Looking at this line, before we continue, if you look at the left-hand side of this text, you will see some words, or you see some signs, some symbols. All these symbols are the corrections you are expected to type. And wherever you see this symbol, wherever you see any word written, the correction is meant to be effected on that line. If you look at the first line, for instance, what is in front here means state. The meaning of start is let it stand. Let it stand. That's the meaning of start. Where you see start, the line that has that start in front of it, there is a word that should still stand. And to show where that start is meant to be effected, that is where you have these dotted lines. So now, which one are we supposed to allow to stand? Is it locate or place? The one that has the dotted line under is the one that should stand. Locate has been taken out. Place has the dotted line under. So we are going to type societies place, not societies locate. So that is the correction that you're expected to do there. Societies place her high premium on work ethics. Societies place a high premium on work ethics. There is another correction to be done there. In front of that line, you see what is called run-on. This sign that looks like a backward S, backward letter S, is what signifies run-on. The meaning of run-on is that no new paragraph is needed. The typing should continue on the same line. So you can see that line taking you back, telling you, don't move to a new paragraph. Continue on the same line. So, which means we are not going to press our enter key. We are going to continue typing. That's the meaning of run on. So you have they believe in hard work and its ability to enhance character. Full stop. Continue typing again. But there is a mistake or there is a correction to be made here. Look at where you have today. Today, in front of that line, look at this shape or look at this symbol. This symbol means close up. Wherever you see this symbol that looks like the shape of your lip, it means close up. And in front of that symbol on the line, you see where the symbol is put, telling you that this today is not meant to be separated. To and they are meant to come together. So which means close up this space in between to and they. That is the correction you are expected to effect there. So you are going to type it as today, comma, but today people have diverse views. People have diverse views on work, full stop. There's no correction shown there, so we continue typing. Work, comma, according to the poet. For these, they are not looking at your speed, but they are looking at your accuracy, how well you are able to effect your correction signs. Remember, omissions will be penalized. Poet, comma, is a burden to some people, full stop. Another correction is expected to be made here. And what's the correction? You can see this shape like a bracket. In front of that line, you have NP. The full meaning of NP is new paragraph, which means you are not expected to run on. You are expected to take from this youth C. You are expected to take from this youth to a new paragraph. So at this point now, you are using your enter key. You press your enter key to go to the new paragraph. Remember, to start a new paragraph, you use your 5-character spacing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's also effect it on the first line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every paragraph must have 5-character spaces. So now we continue. Youths see work as somebody. Youths see work as something, Youths see work as something adults do to punish them, to be unhappy, to be unhappy, full stop. No correction is to be made, so we continue. They love to play. And looking at this, there is a correction to be made here. Look at that sign. That sign is an omission sign. It means something has been omitted. So you can see that make on top. So it should be, they love to play and make fun. They love to play and make fun. That's a correction to be made there, comma. And now there's another correction to be made. You can see this sign. In front of this line, you see TRS. What's the full meaning of TRS? TRS means transpose. It means what? Transpose. That means you're trying to interchange some words. Like what we have here now, we have and walk, see, always. But if you look at the way the shape or the line is drawn, it's telling you bring always to the left and walk to the right, which will now be and always see walk. And always see walk. So the meaning of TRS means transpose. So once you see that line, the way it is drawn, it's telling you bring the one to the left to the right, then the one at the right hand side, take it to the left. So that is the correction you're expected to make here. So it's going to be always see walk. That's the correction as a punishment. Always see work as a punishment, comma. They believe their parents owe them a living, and the SH. Remember one of the instructions given. Type all abbreviations in full. So that SH is an abbreviation which should be what? Should. So you're not going to type SH dots. You're going to type it in full, should. And they should make demands for what they want and expect what they want and expect, comma. Look at that sign. That sign is showing that something is missing. And in front of that line, you have hence. So the correction to be effected here is when you see that line, that shape is a carrier that shows that something has been omitted and it means it has to be put there. So you have it as hence they don't. Don't is an abbreviation. Don't is an abbreviation. So when you have don't, you are expected to type don't in full as what? Do not. All these are the things they are looking out in the practical class. They do not have to work, full stop. So if you look at what we have typed here now, you can see that it is clean enough, different from the main text, and that is what you are expected to do. So before you save your work and believe you are done, you should go through, and remember that omissions will be penalized. So go through, read through, and ensure that nothing is omitted and you have been able to correct everything. You have been able to adhere to the instructions, and you have been able to take to all the corrections you are expected to effect, because that is what shows that you know what to do. And these are the things that they are going to check out for in your. These are the things that they are going to check out for when they are marking your work. So in the absence of any correction, our work is neat and tidy and well prepared. I believe with this, you should be able to tackle or know what to do when manuscripts and speed and accuracy as keyboarding skill is given to you to do. Thank you very much and have a nice study time.